Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I want to share with you guys my top 5 personal most carried EDC folding knives over the last month or two. I think that's when I did the video last. I've got quite a variety. Some things are available in certain forms and others not, but I still want to share this stuff with you guys, and I will link it all right down in the description. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at the_metal_complex. So starting off here at number 5 is the PIERC KREN with the DLC coated S90V blade. The only reason that this one is so low on the list is because it's a very recent acquisition. It has dominated my pockets over the last few days, but we'll definitely see substantially more pocket time in the coming weeks. This is so new that I haven't even made the unboxing video, the original unboxing video, public yet, but you will see it. This video, the PIERC KREN, this knife, it got an excellent review on this channel, and it is an excellent model. It's just a fantastic overall EDC knife, kind of like what happens when you combine the Benchmade 940 with a Chris Reeve Sebenza, but it still manages to be its own thing. It's got some unique elements here, and I'm sure you guys are aware of it. I'm a huge fan of the shiny black DLC fad that's been sort of sweeping over the knife world right now. I think that's great. You get the extra scratch resistance, the extra corrosion resistance, and it just looks awesome. So much better than just a flat DLC. This guy hardened to, I think, 61.4 was what I got on the card for S90V. Is absolutely magnificent. Not just, the carry profile. That's not just what's, driving this home for me, but the cool factor, the added cool factor of being able to access the internals simply by lifting up on the scale right here at the top. We've got the magnets underneath, which for me is, that's totally fine. I don't work in an environment with a lot of like metal dust or metal debris, so it's not really a problem. Having access to the Omega Springs if I want to add some additional lubrication without having to go through the trouble of removing all the little individual pieces of hardware, versus something like an actual Benchmade 940. This is just so much easier. And truthfully, I just really think the cool factor is just off the charts. The action on this is absolutely spectacular, wonderful. And it's an actual, like a legitimate ambidextrous knife with the crossbar lock being an ambidextrous locking system. And then you have, of course, I think you guys saw there, the filler tab, which will allow you to take the pocket clip and move it over to the other side. It's just got a super clean look, considering you can't see the pivot screw, you can't see the body screws or anything like that. So clean, so easy to carry. These guys are fairly expensive they're very expensive at $300. But if you are shopping in that territory, I cannot recommend this knife enough. I mean, I honestly think that as much attention as this thing is getting, it's still pretty underrated. This is a magnificent EDC folding knife, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Moving on here to another one that is only low on the list because it's a fairly recent acquisition, but definitely one that's going to see some more pocket time. And that's the remit RT Swordfish in DLC. So the RT Swordfish is a gravity knife. Absolutely 100% is a gravity knife. So you have to be careful about this. These are available. You can get them in the Tanto blade. You can get them in the, the clip point configuration. You can get them in DLC. You can get them in just the satin finish. And then there's a variety of different inlay scales that they sent. This one in particular, not my favorite. This is what they sent, but they do have them in like black carbon fiber, and you can switch them out very easily. In fact, I took these 2 screws out, just popped this out, and popped in another one on one of the other swordfishes that I've got. And it works really, really well. On top of that, disassembly for this thing is really great. Like if you're left-handed and you're like, I don't know are they left-handed, are they right-handed, are they specific? You literally take these 2 screws off and the 2 pocket clip screws off, pull this entire plate off and flip the blade around. It is really, well, there's 2 screws underneath here to release it, but you flip the blade around. It's really, really easy. So if you're left-handed, that's all you have to do. And then the thing is legitimately set up for left-handed carry. You operate it the exact same way. The blade will obviously be facing the other way, but I carry this one not because I need it. I don't need some sort of tactical advantage in my day-to-day life. None of that. I literally carry this because of cool factor. That's, as a collector enthusiast primarily, what I choose to carry is partially based on convenience and utility, but it's also based on what am I enjoying, right? I mean, because I've got so many knives, right? Just having a knife on me which is only part of the element, but I like to carry things that are fun. This guy also on the more expensive side I think they start at $265, maybe $280, something like that. A lot of titanium here and definitely a unique system, pushing that switch up and those wings come out and sort of release the blade or lock the blade. I have really, really enjoyed this. To my knowledge, Remit is hardening the M390 to 60 to 62, which I think is more than acceptable. Very happy with that. This has really been a fun one, and it's always a conversation piece. Anybody that I ever talk with that is into knives is always absolutely amazed by this thing, and it's just really fun to show off, truthfully. Moving on here, finally, an inexpensive one, a very inexpensive one. I think a lot of people are going to like this, and I'm sure you guys already know about it. Again, another recent acquisition you guys haven't seen the unboxing for. This is the CGRB Pyrite Lite, which might, you might be like, what could be that different about it? The changes that they made on this thing are subtle, but it is definitely better than the standard Pyrite. Number one, it is slightly longer. I think they added about a 1/4 inch to the blade. In fact, you know what? The original Pyrite is right here. I'll just give you guys a comparison here real quick. It is slightly longer, and they made a little bit more room in the handle and a little bit more room in the choil, which is great, while keeping the cutting edge essentially the same. The choked up position on this is definitely better. And the standard grip is also better, not just because of the, excess room here, but also because the scales are now contoured. This is injection mold plastic and AR RPM9, which we now know to be essentially like a spray form 9CR18 MOV, which is fine, still fine, especially considering the price of this is actually less than the standard Pyrite. Now, if you are big into, if you're like, I just hate injection mold plastic and I'd rather have steel or G10 or whatever the other basic versions come, then, okay. But in my opinion, they dramatically improve this while reducing the price. And if you don't want to be as dramatic as me and use the word dramatic when we're combining it with the word improvement, then you can say improved slightly and reduce the price, which is a win. Definitely. This knife is $40. What's the original Pyrite? 52, 55, something like that. Maybe it's 50. I don't know. But yeah, much less expensive. I mean, just in terms of the percentage overall price, but fantastic. On top of that, I don't know what they did with the button lock, like the plunge lock, but since the plunge lock acts as the detent itself, button locks tend to feel really lackluster on deployment. Whatever they did, this feels better. It's not as mushy. It's much more clicky, and it just feels so much more natural. I am a huge fan of this knife, and again, they were thinking of lefties when they added the lefty mounting position for the pocket clip. Just really excellent, and that blade shape, honestly, is just perfect for EDC. It always puts a smile on my face when something that is under $50 is just incredible. This is a really, really good knife for those of you who are on a budget or you just don't like spending a lot of money on something like a pocket knife. This is the way to go. And if you're brand new to pocket knives and you're wondering, where do I start? This would be one of your best choices right now, in my opinion. Moving on to number 2, and that's going to be the Arm Skaha 2. This knife, oh my gosh. You guys are probably sick of seeing this thing because it has made this list for months and months and months. I absolutely love this knife. It's so funny because looking back at my channel and my preferences, not only just since the channel, started like 6.5 years ago, but just since I started collecting and enjoying pocket knives more than, what you could pick up at Home Depot, I have never preferred lightweight knives. And I've never really preferred my knives to have an overly simple aesthetic. I mean, I guess like something like this or something larger, an XM18, like I'm always wanting something bigger, something weirder, right? And this has such a straightforward knife profile. It's also incredibly lightweight at, I think, under 3 ounces. This guy has the carbon fiber and the magnet cut blade. I also don't like wire clips aesthetically, but this knife is really challenging all of my preferences. I found that when I'm headed out the door and I don't even want to think about it, I just want to throw something in my pocket that I know is going to be super easy to carry. This is the knife that I grab because it is super easy to carry. And anytime I need to get it out to cut something, that blade is ready to do it as fast as possible. This thin, super high polished Magna Cut blade, fully flat ground, is just an absolute monster. I've really been using this thing without reservation. I've just been using it. One time I had to adjust the pivot, but since then I haven't had to do it again. It still doesn't have any blade play. The blade is still incredibly sharp. In fact, if I've got it, all I have are these note cards up here, but the blade is still incredibly sharp and incredibly, able to just slice and go to work, right? I just love it. I also love how easy it is to access the lock bar, how easy it is to get the blade to fall shut. And I also there's something about the initial release of that blade, that click, let you guys hear it. God dang, whatever they're doing, that is just absolutely fantastic. It's also contoured, making the scales incredibly comfortable. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is the angle of the flipper tab, but I guess I've gotten used to it. If you guys pick this up, you will notice that the flipper tab is kind of angled into your index finger, which you're really only going to notice if you hold it like in the hammer grip and cut straight down like this. But man, excellent. They are expensive, definitely. But once you buy one of these, this is kind of like, it creates a standard for people. It really does. And it's a knife that has made me realize, like, no matter how solidified my opinions are, or I think that they are, no matter how set in my ways I am, a certain knife that is, outside of what I would normally carry, or just like totally against my normal preferences, all it takes is one, and it can change your mind about a lot of stuff. This is absolutely phenomenal. Going the opposite direction, this knife, the number one most carried knife, I carry it just because it is exactly my preferences. I mean, exactly. It is so massively overkill for what I need day to day, but I love it. It puts a smile on my face every time I get it out. And that's the Demco A20i, not the smaller guy from Taiwan. No, this is the big, thick one that is identical in dimensions to the original USA-made Demco A20i. Now, the A20i, I believe it stands for international. Everything about this knife is identical to the USA-made one, and it's all, to my knowledge, made in the United States, save for a couple of parts. The blade is ground out in Italy. And a lot of people, assume like, oh, it's an Italian blade, it's going to be soft. I think Demco said the 20 CV on this was 60.5, which I am more than happy with. Right? A lot of people might not label that as ideal, but I am more than happy with 60.5. I mean, as long as it's 60 or up, right, I'm good. The reason I love carrying this is, number one, you have that satisfaction of the shark lock, right? And I love this guy. I love it, right? But this bigger, thicker guy with the wider shark lock, it's just more satisfying. This blade, despite me not needing this day to day, I know full well that this thing can quite literally handle anything I could imagine throwing at it, with the Demco Shark Lock being created by Andrew Demco, the same person who created the Cold Steel Triad Lock. I know from, carrying this and actually 3 different versions of this guy that lock is legitimately strong, right? Now, I haven't gone out and tried to pry the doors off of any bomb shelters with these things, but I just basically there's nothing I won't do with a knife like this. It's just the freedom of carrying this is so satisfying. It has remained absolutely solid, absolutely wonderful. I love this. It is so good. It's definitely thick behind the edge, definitely robust, but if you're like me and you just enjoy carrying a larger folding knife and you really want to be sure that what you're carrying is legitimately durable and not just big for show, this is the one. This is, I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but this is what I would describe as an apocalypse folding knife, which is a funny two words that are funny to say together, but it really is just absolutely crazy. The only downside is the price. It is no less expensive than the American ones when you can actually get your hands on them. I think these came from Knife Center, $425. Really feel like they should have been less expensive, but they're not. So that's the only downside. They need to do an 80-20i with titanium scales. That would be really cool, and I would actually buy another one. But yeah, that's what we've got today. So we have, again, the Demco A20i in the number 1 position. Number 2 position is the Arm Skaha 2. We have the CGRB Pyrite Lite. We have the Remit RT Swordfish in the DLC. And we have the PIERC KREN also in DLC. That's going to do it for me today, guys. Like I said, links in the description for all of these variations at least. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.